What's up, guys, and welcome to the Olsen Angle. Today we're going to be talking about a defensive lineman from the class of 2021, Elliot Donald. When I was combing through film looking for the next young man I wanted to cover in my recruit analysis videos, Elliot's film immediately caught my eye. Now, Elliot's 6'2", 250 pounds, and as many of you may know, he's related to and actually the nephew of the NFL's best defensive player, Aaron Donald. I think the young man does a lot of great things on film, and he really impresses in certain aspects of his game that national recruiting sites just don't seem to give him credit for. The first thing I noticed when I watched film is the young man has top-end explosion, quickness, and power off the snap of the ball. When you have these traits alone, it's extremely difficult for offensive linemen to block you. Specifically, Elliot is going to be a nightmare on any play run to the outside of the hash marks. And the reason for that is he gets great initial penetration because he's got that great quickness and power off the snap of the ball. And even in situations where the running back's able to go ahead and find the cutback lane due to penetration, Elliot makes a consistent effort to spin off the offensive lineman and clog that hole. The young man makes a habit of getting underneath the offensive lineman's pads and delivering a powerful punch. Elliot has active and violent hands, which allow him to have an extremely effective swim move and to club offensive linemen off balance. He's not one-dimensional as a pass rusher. He can effectively use power rush moves like a bull rush and also a slew of different finesse moves like a swim and a rip move. And I can't quantify how crucial this is to being an effective pass rusher at the next level. When you can consistently beat offensive linemen with different pass rush moves, it makes it really difficult for the offensive lineman, number one, to game plan for you and also to anticipate what pass rush move they're going to see. I'm also going to tell you something interesting I noticed during the film. The young man was held left and right. If the referees were to throw a flag every single time that Elliot was held, they would be getting an arm workout every single game. Something I think Elliot does extremely well but doesn't get adequate credit for is his ability to occupy and manipulate double teams. While being double teamed, he makes a conscious effort to occupy both offensive linemen while anchoring down and not conceding much ground. And as soon as that one offensive lineman peels off and gets to the second level to block the linebacker, Elliot does a superb job of crossing the face of the offensive lineman and beating the running back to the hole. Again, these are the type of things that national recruiting sites don't cover about Elliot, but the young man does effectively. And to top it all off, he's extremely destructive and has a non-stop motor. And the consistency I see throughout the film leads me to believe that the young man is actually underrated. But enough of me rambling on, let's go ahead and jump into the highlights. Oh my gosh, a play like that is beautiful. Elliot gets underneath the offensive lineman, and as that offensive lineman tries to get his punch in his inside hand on Elliot's breastplate, he simply goes ahead and shoves his arm up, which allows that open pass rush lane to the inside. He's the first guy off the line of scrimmage, and he swims over top of the center and splits a double team between the center and the guard to get in the backfield almost untouched and stop that fullback. Look at the awareness on that play. Elliot understands that he's getting too deep in the pocket, and all good defensive linemen know when they get too deep into the pocket, they've got to spin back to where the quarterback is. That is the explosion and quickness off the snap of the ball on display. The offensive lineman doesn't gain much ground with his first step, and Elliot's able to go ahead and exploit that, again, because he's so quick off the snap of the ball. Oh my gosh, that is so beautiful. The offensive guard and center are working a double team on Elliot, but the offensive guard is leaning so far forward that he falls flat on his face once Elliot swims over top of him. Then, Elliot does a good job of getting skinny, ripping past the center, and tackling the ball carrier in the backfield. That is a perfect play right there. He notices the offensive guard has his head in the block, so he naturally reacts and he swims right over top of him to get pressure in the quarterback's face. You see the issues he's able to cause in outside zone plays. That offensive guard is supposed to go ahead and set the block for the center on that outside zone play. But Elliot moves so quickly, he's able to just simply olay the offensive guard, preventing him from actually being able to set the block. So it makes it a near impossible play for the center. Oh my gosh. He's just able to straight bull rush that offensive lineman into the quarterback. That's a great power rush move. Here it is again. If that offensive lineman isn't able to gain enough ground with his first step or takes a false step, he will not be able to block Elliot just because he's got so much explosion and quickness off the snap of the ball. He jolts the offensive lineman. He notices that he's leaning, so he simply just goes ahead and swims over top of him to get in the backfield and make that tackle. There it is again. Another offensive lineman with his head in the block, not moving his feet, so Elliot just swims right over top of him for the sack. Again, O-lineman has his head in the block, he swims right over top of him to make the sack. He does such a great job of noticing when the offensive lineman is leaning and not moving his feet, and he exploits that by swimming right over top of him. Here he is again, the first guy off the snap of the ball, and he splits right through that zone blocking scheme. And look at the effort. The young man never quits. Here he is again. He's able to avoid that offensive guard who's trying to set the double team for the tackle. He simply gets skinny, swims over top of the guard, goes untouched into the backfield, and makes the tackle for a loss. The offensive lineman steps underneath himself, and again, that quickness and explosion off the snap of the ball will always exploit that false step. He does a great job of getting inside hands on that offensive lineman's breastplate and getting to the running back. Here is another prime example. That offensive guard and center are working a double team on that outside zone play. But Elliot's able to quickly shoot that gap, and the guard's not actually able to set the block for the center, making it an impossible task to accomplish, resulting in that forced fumble. That offensive lineman is trying to position block Elliot, but he does a good job of working across his face and making the play. He hits the offensive lineman with the stutter step and then just simply clubs and swims right over top of him. That's a beautiful move. That swim move is deadly. And look at this, he never quits on the play. He finishes the play with a pancake. He splits the double team, and despite being held quite obviously, he's able to flush the quarterback out of the pocket. Look at that bull rush move. Elliot has inside hands, and that offensive lineman's on rollerblades, holding on for dear life. He's getting double teamed on that passing situation. He disengages and gets the quarterback before he's able to get out of bounds. Elliot swims right over top of the offensive guard, and that guard's leaning so far forward, anticipating a bull rush move, that he falls on his hands and knees. Look at that bull rush move. He's able to put so much pressure in the quarterback's face that he has to vacate the pocket. That offensive lineman doesn't gain enough ground with his first step, and Elliot's able to cross his face and make the tackle in the backfield for a loss because he never quits. He gives the offensive lineman a quick stutter step, then rips to the inside. The offensive lineman blatantly holds Elliot, but there's no flag thrown. He rips right past the offensive guard, plows through the running back, and hits the quarterback. Oh, here comes a twist move. And look at the effort. He's got a non-stop motor. We're about to transition a little bit, and all the film that we're about to see upcoming is all from last year's postseason. Look at how he stops that double team. He goes ahead and anchors down and prevents any movement on him. And as the offensive lineman tries to peel off and get to the linebacker at the second level, he fights across the down lineman's face and tackles the running back. That's picture perfect. That's great awareness. He gets penetration on the offensive lineman. He notices the running back starting to cut backside, so he spins off and tackles the ball carrier in the backfield. He fights through a triple team on that play. He beats the guard, the center, and the tackle, and still is able to hit the quarterback. He's able to decipher that the offensive lineman's leaning at him. He swims right over top of him and gets the running back. He splits another double team on an outside zone play and is able to make a tackle in the backfield for a loss. He beats the down lineman, then the pulling guard, and still makes a tackle on the running back. He pancakes the offensive lineman on the bull rush. Oh my gosh. I mean, it looks like the quarterback had maybe 2 seconds to get that pass off because Elliot just swims over top of the offensive lineman to get pressure right in the QB's face. Look at how effective that bull rush is. Again, the offensive lineman's on rollerblades, and he never quits on the play. He's able to go ahead and give that center a stutter step, and then he rips past him and gets pressure right in the quarterback's face. Here's another outside zone play, and he fights across that center's face and makes a tackle on the running back. He's going to be very difficult to block in any type of scenario when you're running the ball outside of the hash mark. Here he is, he just rips right past that guard. Elliot's consistently putting pressure on the quarterback's face from the interior of the defensive line, and when you're able to do that, it makes it really tough for an offense to be successful. The little things like that win you football games. Elliot's being double teamed by the center and the guard, and he's anchored down to prevent any type of movement on the double team. Offensive linemen know they have to prioritize the down lineman first. They have to get movement on the defensive lineman before they can vacate and move to the linebacker. Since Elliot's able to anchor down, that offensive lineman has to stick on that double team too long, freeing up the linebacker to make the tackle. It may not seem big, it may not seem important, but the little things just like that contribute to the overall success of a football team. Oh, that offensive lineman overset, and he's able to swim right past him, and the guard tries to tackle Elliot from behind to prevent the pressure. He beats the center and the guard on that play and flushes the quarterback out of the pocket. That's amazing. After watching the film, I'm thoroughly impressed. The young man consistently creates pressure in the backfield no matter what type of situation he faces. I really like this film, and I think he has what it takes to be special at the next level. Thanks so much, guys, for watching the video. And if you've enjoyed it, be sure to let me know, number 1, by subscribing, number 2, by liking the video, and number 3, by commenting below. Again, I read the comments, so if there's someone you want me to cover in the future, just leave them in the comment section below. But other than that, thanks so much for stopping by and have a blessed day.